Hello and welcome back. So you can see currently what we've done is we've started building the dock and we've built the kind of frame for the two different gatehouses that I'm trying to build in this area. You can see that I'm now getting attacked, but basically I'm trying to work out this how this walkway will walk underneath and under the side of the bridge, and the two support frames of the different buildings that I'm going to build. Since the last episode, you can see that I've gone into the end and I fought the dragon, and I've got basically a cape and everything and elytra, so I can try and basically fly around and use these resources to help me build quicker. So now I'm basically mining out this sand pit in between these two buildings, and this will basically be the dock where I'll hopefully in the future build two boats or something that looks like they've just docking, or they've come in from sort of outer voyage. So you can see that I'm basically mining out the sand underneath to make it deep enough, and then trying to fill in the water, and then working out kind of a dock design that allows me to walk around the dock, which is slightly lowered compared with the rest of the walkway. So you can see either side of these two frames of buildings. These two buildings, I've looked at a medieval design of a boatyard and trying to get this sort of idea of this wooden structures that sit within the water, and then this allows people to kind of just flow in and out on the boats, and then just kind of make it a little bit more, into the theme of the tavern and all the other builds that I'm trying to build in this area. You can kind of see that I'm trying to go for this sort of medieval theme, so that way this kind of starter island on this world will become this medieval place that kind of, if you spawned into, you've got this create different designs, and then maybe when you progress to the main city, that's where it becomes more modern. But you can see I'm basically just panning across. To the left I've got the shops I'm trying to maybe medievalize, and then maybe build a roof on this building to the left. And then you can see over here that I'm basically just collecting wooden resources from the trees. So this is what I do, is just cutting down trees to get the wood. I've got the variety of different trees. These ones are oak, and then here is basically my starter house of the island. And then hopefully in the future kind of trying to work our way around to sort of build up the city towards this sort of house. Tavern here, and we can see how the walkway goes all the way around in front of the tavern, and that's where the boatyard is to the left, with these two buildings that will be these boatyard buildings. You can see I'm filling in this sort of oak design for the boat, the docking area, and these areas will basically be a lighter tint, so it kind of separates itself from the kind of the dark oak of these two boatyard buildings. Just see, I'm basically building the columns up. This will become the kind of the frame of the design. I always try and work with a sort of key frame, which is normally 3, 5 or 7, but most of the time it's kind of 3 or 5. But with this I think I've gone with a 5, and then the boardwalk that sits around it and goes underneath the walkway, I've done it as a 5x4, and that way I can keep this symmetrical design going all the way through, and it keeps this consistent pattern all the way around this boardwalk. I've looked at a medieval design here, and you can see this design basically doesn't have glass in, but has these kind of wooden kind of framed windows you can see zooming in. So I basically used that instead of glass, because back in the day you needed ventilation and you needed those air gaps, and they didn't have glass in the time, so I was trying to think of a way of incorporating this element. Now back to this side, you can see that the boardwalk has got the different kind of the light birch planks in, and these stairs, the oak stairs in between, that gives you that sort of shadow depth effect. And then hopefully in the future I can build a little market stalls on one side, on the right side, near those kind of posts which will have lampposts on, and then maybe and then to the left the trees, which is something natural, and basically it contrasts these market stalls, and then these trees can go up vertically, and then it gives some sort of high rise to the build. As we pan out, we can just see that the dock is getting there. You can see that there's a light element. I've stripped the bark of these oak logs, and then these elements are becoming this kind of the structural frame of the dock, and then I've put slabs and stairs which add some sort of just depth to the different levels of the walkway. This means that people going onto the boat or not could step down a level, which is where water could be lapping against the boardwalk. You can see we're just panning really low. You can see that the level of the boardwalk is the same level as the water, but you can see that either side these boat houses have that sort of level with the water. So you could, with the little Minecraft boats, you could swim in and then sit up and then basically sail in on survival sort of thing. But you can see the nice little detailed tavern in the background. But here you can see I'm trying to make it sort of, each level has a jettying effect, which is similar to my last video, where each level kind of cantilevers outwards, and then I've used the kind of the oak fences in between, and then I'll try and create the sort of the subframe to the building, and then maybe add some sort of wooden fill-ins, so it kind of makes it more of an older medieval build, something more older than the tavern behind. I'm basically filling in the kind of the main floor inside, and then trying to carve out the sand and then fill in the water in the middle, so that way it kind of brings the water inwards. Now I'm just lowering the little steps so you can easily get in and out, but that's kind of the design I want inside, where you could easily run in, you could just get into your boat and sail out the city. Got my little doggy that just follows me around. Having his time of his life, just follow me doing my little build. Thing is, at night time, what I've been doing is, because my elytra hasn't got mending on, I've basically been waiting for these flying phantoms coming in to kill them for their sort of wings, and then this would fix up my build. You can see here from the front they're jettying out, and I'm building the walkway, external walkway, and the front of the build has got this kind of the dark stairs element I'm trying to bring in. I'm doing the beams internally, and then trying to do the first floor sort of design, working at the slabs and the structure. And then I'm also trying to look at a way that this could be like a gateway building, and then how this building could cantilever across that walkway to the left, so that if it was kind of like a security line for the city, so anyone running in, you could close the gates or something like that, and then creating this sort of dramatic entrance like that goes underneath this building. So you can see here to these kind of cantilevering beams I'm doing, that this will be the height of it, so you're kind of running through, in essence, a element from this build that maybe put a little gate in or something that adds that kind of, that separation between the city and the outside world. But you can see here I've just put in the floorboards, everything's to be getting there. I've done the ground floor structure and started to work my way up. Maybe in the next video or something, or of this, I'll try and create more of this level and maybe make that cantilevering building that goes all the way over the side, and then maybe working out that walkway underneath. But you can kind of see the gist of it. You can see the boardwalk and how it links with the tavern, and then in this area we'll put little houses, and that's kind of what we've got. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give me a like and a comment. See you in the next video. Thank you and goodbye.